Hello guys, good afternoon. So in the yesterday, sorry, not yesterday. Yeah, in the last class, we have completed the arrays, right? And I told you to do one task. What is the task? To write the code for adding multi-dimensional array. That means what? Two-dimensional array. To add two arrays. To add the two arrays. Adding two arrays. Have you done it? Anybody done it? Anybody done that? Adding two arrays. Adding two arrays. Done it or not? It is a single dimensional array. To add two arrays, that is easy. No issues at all. If two dimensional array, adding two two dimensional arrays, adding two dimensional arrays. Have you done it? How to create the array? Ah, equal to new size with what? Some size. It's a two. Another array. How to add these two arrays? Now I need to supply the values. No. Better. So, you have zero. No. You have zero. Some value. You have one. Some value. You have zero. Some value. You have one. Now I want to make the addition. I want to make the addition. How to do it? How to do it? One more array to store. Follow. How many follow? Sorry. If I is equal to 1, let's say it is starting from 0. I less than 2 or 3. One more array. Ah. like this up. Like this up. Is it right? Ten plus ten. Then what happens? 20 plus 10. For the first iteration, what happens? 0, right? I is 0, j is 0. I is 0, j is 0. A of 0, b of 0. What is that? Now still we are in the inner for loop. J is becoming 1. A of 0, b of 1. A of 0, b of 1. 30. Now what happens? 2 less than 2 comes out becoming 1. 1 becoming 1. Now what happens? A of 1, b of 0. A of 1, b of 0. What happens? Still we are in the inner for loop. J is 1. A of 1, b of 1. A of 1, b of 1. What is that? Right? I want that 2-dimensional. Write the code. I can read. What is the code? Bring me that book. ಆಯ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ತಗೊಂಬನ್ರಿ. Give me book. How to analyze? How to analyze? Observe here. This is one matrix. This is another matrix. Rows and columns will be there. Hmm. This is two matrix. Okay. Now let's say this one is A. This one is what? B. Now consider row is I, column is J. Row is I, column is what? J. This is also row is I, column is J. Now A of what happens? A of ij. A of ij. That means what? Here 0, 1, 2, 0, 1. How many columns? 4 columns. How many rows? 3 rows. Four into three. This is also. Write the for loop. How you can write the for loop? How we can write the for loop? For everything is same. Is equal to start from 0. I less than. Length is what? Here, you have 0, you have 1, you have 2, you have 3. Here also, what happens here? 0, 1, 2. How can you find the size here? Huh? What is the size? 4 into 3 is what? Answer here. How to create two-dimensional array? I'm creating what? 4 into 3 na? 4 rows, 3 columns. 4 rows, 3 columns. 4 into 3. 3 rows. 3 rows, 4 columns. 3 rows, 4 columns. 3 rows, 4 columns. Now what you can do is, find out the length. Find out the length. Spelling is right? Four into 3 is what? What size I'm getting what? 3. What that means? Hmm? Here, what it means? 3 rows we have. 3 rows and 4 columns. Now elements will be what? Elements will be how much? Elements will be 12. What size? Size is what? Here, A equal to U into. Now, size is what? Now, it is the row representation. This is the column representation. Total elements, how much elements we can store? 12. What size is what? 3. Now, I don't know. For loop, first we need to initialize or not? We need to initialize. F 0 and 0. The value 10. F0, 0, 0, 3. Now, 4 idea, only 3. 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3. Next, 1, 0. Next, 1, 1. Next, 1, 2. Next, next. 2, 0, 2, 1, 2, 2. Next. Sit down. 0, 1, 2. Right? 0 row, 1 throw, second row. Exchange it for to write the for loop. Here length is what? Here. What here? Here. And I want to find out. What do I need to find out? A of 2 of 2. Okay. Fine. We have 0, 0, 10. We have 0, 0, 10. 20. Now let's say last value. 120 plus 120 is what? 240. But what I'm getting? Hmm? A of 2, 3. B of 2, 3.
Sir, it's taking A of 2 to 3 is it's not taking 3.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, what is the size? So it needs to take 3, right? It should take 3, right, Aram?
Then inner should take 4.
Both, right? Both are. This is also same, right? Right, Aram?
No, sir,
It is correct.
Three is
See,
correct.
3 is correct.
inner 4.
0, 1, 2, 3. Length actually. Like this.
No,
Hmm?
J should take up to 4, 3.
Same array, right? Any changes is there?
No,
0, 1, 2, 3. It is 4.
Now correct, sir.
He's taking 3 now. 1, 2, 3. Okay, okay. 1, 2, 3. Right. This is also 1, 2, 3, right? Ah. Where? Hmm.
0, 1, 2, 3. I is less than or equals to 4.
So inner what happens here? 1, 2, 3. It should come. Right.
But
1,
outer
2,
should be
3.
4.
Here outer
4.
4.
Size is taking the row values, sir.
Ah.
J is taking column values.
Okay, okay. Yeah.
J is equal to 0 to
Yeah,
3.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
1 should take 4. 1 for the whole class. Column should take 4.
Size should be 4.
Inner loop.
Here, which array size is 4?
J.
J. See, I can simply go for what? A dot length. That is fine. We can simply go for that. No issues at all. See, first up, for the first iteration, what it should come? A of 0, 0,
B of 0.
right? A of 0, 0, then B of 0, 0. For the second iteration,
A of 0, 0. B of
for the
A
second
of
iteration,
0, 1. B of 0.
for the second iteration, J will be what? 1,
J.
right?
J
0,
will
1,
be
right?
0, 1. Next to
0, 1.
0, 1.
0, 1, B will be
0, 1.
0, 1. Now observe. If I say 3, it means what? Here you can go for 4. That also fine. See, why the confusion is? Start from 1 now. Start from 1. What happens? If I start from 1, what happens? We don't get that 0 index.
0.
We don't get that 0 index. That is the problem. So here it should be starting from 0 only. Here what you can do is, if you are confusing, go for length. P dot length. Is it fine? But observe carefully. Exception I'm getting. Exception I'm getting. Array index out of bounds exception. Array index out of bounds exception. Line 40. So in this case, what happens? So here, I is what? Row. I is for row. I is for row. Now, can I say that is 4? 4 or 3? If I say 3, what happens? 3 less than 3, false. That is why.
It will not take 3. They also is fine.
Less than or equal to 3.
If I supply 3, what happens? 0. 0 at the time, 1 at the time, second at the time.
It's enough for I.
Is it fine? For I.
It is fine.
For J,
But it should be 4.
0, 1,
3.
2, 3.
Then it should be 4.
Now here. Here.
I less than 3, J less than 4.
It's 4, sir.
If I say 3, what happens? I is 3.
0, 1,
3 rows, 4 columns,
2. 0,
3 rows, 4 columns. Starting from 0.
right.
Should not get array index out of bounds. Okay. From 0 to 2 it is taking, from 0 to 3 it is taking. Next concept, strings. Strings. Did I do object class? Alright. Done now. Object class. Object class. Alright. Just give me a moment, guys. Fine, we'll start with the object class. That is important. Okay. Otherwise, you cannot understand some of the concepts. Why do we need object class? Object class is the super class of all the classes. Object class is the super class of all the classes. For all the classes, whichever the commonly required methods, for all the classes, whichever commonly required methods, commonly required methods for all the classes, that is got declared in object class. The common method required for that is different.
On board.
For all the classes, for all the classes, commonly required methods are defined in object class. We have so many methods inside the object class that is common for all the classes. That means if I create any class by default, object class methods will be available in that class. We can make use of that. Now observe. Here, what I'm trying to do, class A, class M, main method, creating two objects for the A, creating two objects for the A. Now, A class accepting what? In the A class, we have one constructor that is accepting two arguments. In the A class, we have one constructor, it is accepting two arguments. One is string, another one is int. Now, here what I'm trying to supply, one name and one number, Vijay 101 for the first object. Now that is going to initialize with Vijay and 101. For the second time, second object I'm creating. This time I'm supplying one name and one number. Sunny 102. That is will be initializing with Sunny and 102. For A1, Vijay and 101. For A2, Sunny and 102. Now, what will be the output for this case? What is the output? Huh? Really? Is that so? What happens? Hmm? Observe. Java. Carefully. observe. I'm trying to print the reference. Trying to print the reference. Trying to access the reference. I'm not trying to access what? Name or roll number. If I say A1 dot name, then it comes. If I say A1 dot roll number, then it comes. But as of now, what I'm trying to do, simply directly I'm printing the reference. Directly printing the reference. In that case, what happens? We'll get the memory representation. Memory representation of the object. Class name @ hash code. Class name @ hash code in the form of hexadecimal. Whenever straight away, if I call the A1 reference, it is the reference. Now what happens? In this A class, object class methods will be there. In the object class, one method is there, toString method, toString method. That also will be in the class A. Now what happens? J1 is called the toString method of A class. A1 is called the toString method of A class. Now it is going to call what? Object class toString method. Why? Because I did not override it in the A class. I did not override it in the A class. If I directly call the reference, what happens? It is going to call what? ToString method of the object class. If I don't have ToString method in my A class, it is going to call the object class ToString method. In the object class ToString method, how it got overridden? To return the memory address at the content. To return the object memory address, how? Class name @ hash code in the form of hexadecimal. That is the representation. That is how ToString method got implemented in the object class. Observe. Class name @ hash code in the form of hexadecimal. Class name @ hash code in the form of hexadecimal. These are two different objects. Two different objects. This is A1, this is A2. We are getting the memory address. We are not getting the content of that object. We are getting the memory address, not the content. What do I do with the memory address? I don't want the memory address. I want the content. That is important. That is important. ToString. We can use this method to get the string representation of an object. We can use this method to get the string representation of the object. Whenever we call the object reference, internally it is going to call the ToString method. Internally it is going to call the ToString method of object class. How it is going to return? Class name @ hash code in the form of hexadecimal. In all the wrapper classes, in all the collection API classes, string class and string buffer class. String class and string buffer class and string builder class also. ToString method got overridden to return what? String representation of the object. String representation of the object means object content, not the memory address. Object content. We are trying to print the reference, object reference. What it will return? It will return object content. String representation of the object. Here, you say string representation of the object. That means what? String representation of the object in the sense in the initial case, how it is going to return? In the initial case, object class toString method. In the string form, it is going to return the memory address. A class A at the rate hash code in the hexadecimal. But how content? Content will be returning if I override the toString method of the object class in my A class according to my requirement is going to return the object content. We can able to return the object content in the form of string. Now, for every object, a unique code will be generated by the JVM. That is what we are calling hash code. Now, observe. How to override the toString method? Public. Return type is what? String. toString. Now, return name plus name plus roll number plus roll number. Avoid the confusion. What you can do is this dot. Observe. Name is Vijay, roll number is 1. Name is Sunny, roll number is 1. Okay. So instead of the memory location, we are interested on content, object content, not the memory location. That is why we'll be using the toString method. The toString method is the object class method that is going to inherit to all the classes. We can able to make use of it to get the object content in the form of string. Object content in the form of string. Now, what are all the methods are available in the object class? What are all the methods are available in the object class? The syntaxes you will come to know in reflection API. Don't worry about now. Simply, I need to find out what are all the methods are available in object class. Okay, where object class is available? The java.lang package. Object class is available. How many methods are there? Totally 12 methods are there, but for user purpose only 11 methods are available. Okay, totally 12 methods in the object class, but 11 will be inheriting, but not the 12th one. Three waiting, three overloaded. Okay, three overloaded static methods in the thread class. Three. See here, this is the concept of threads. Wait. 3 overloaded methods will be there. 3 overloaded methods. Okay. I'm not getting the what is that? That parameters. No. Simply method name I'm getting. That is why we're getting like this. Enable to see in the objective class. Object class. What are all the methods? I'm sorry. Three overloaded methods. In the thread class, that is static. Yeah. In the thread class, that is static. But here, it is not static, it is non-static. Okay. In the thread class, sorry, in the thread class also, I'll show you thread class. So here, these are overloaded methods. It is used for what? Thread class. All these methods will be used for thread. Now, in the thread class, the priorities are the fields are static. Okay, priorities are static. We'll come to know what are those things. Then fine. Now these three are what? Non-static overloaded methods. Non-static overloaded methods. Finalize is also a method. Equals also a method. ToString we have, hash code we have, get class we have, clone we have, notify all. Notify and notify all. These two are also thread related. These two also thread related. Now register native is there. Register natives. Register natives. Register natives. see here. Totally 12 methods. Okay, totally 12 methods. 11 methods are use, usable for users. Okay, 11 methods we can able to use, but 12th one we cannot able to use. Register natives we cannot able to use. Why? Because that is private. Okay, that is private. The objective class is tricky. Okay, you should concentrate more. What is the output? What happens? Directly printing E1, directly printing E2. What happens? XRDC. I have overloaded no, sorry, overridden no, two string method. I have overridden two string. I value where written? I value colon. Then second time I value colon 20. Let's say here, can I supply directly I? Possible, huh? Possible. Pakka. Hmm? What happens? Here return type is what? But supplying is what? Compatible. Huh? Incompatible. Int cannot be converted to string. What should I do now? Downcast. Downcast. Is there any relationship is there from string to int? Any relationship?
No, sir.
Can I use simply like this? What happens? This is the empty string now. Empty string plus I concatenation. Whole thing becomes string. Whole thing becomes string. Then I can supply. It's a type of object with I value as 20. Now what happens? Observe here. This is string. This is the reference. This is string. Is a reference. Whenever reference variable is adding to the string, whenever reference variable is adding to the string, from the reference variable it is going to call the toString method. From the reference variable it is going to call the toString. Now what happens? This will be concatenation. DSC colon space, it's a type of object definable as 20, right? That is stored inside S1. That S1 only we are printing. Initially memory address. Initially memory address. Then from the reference variable, it is going to call the toString method of the G class. After that, it is concatenating with the DSC colon space. Totally what happens? DSC colon space. The type of object with the value as 20 is stored inside S1. It's only we are printing. And fine. In the initial case, also we are getting the same thing. Why? Because toString, right? Or why? Because of toString. G1 is internally calling what? toString. Why? Because I have implemented the toString. No. If I don't implement, what happens? Happens ESC colon some hash code, right? So now I have overridden the toString method. Whenever you are calling the reference, it is going to invoke the toString method. How? Now what happens? What is the output? Ten colon 20. 10 colon. Here 10 and 20 supplying. Right. Same got initialized. Same got initialized. Then B1, current value of I, current value of J. That is returning in the form of string. Here concatenation is happening. Number int plus what? String. Concatenation. This whole thing string now. String plus number. Concatenation. Right? Observe carefully. D has C type also has a relationship. D has C type, but C doesn't have the D type. D has C type. D has C type. In both the classes, two string methods. In both the classes, two string methods. In both the classes, two string methods. Here, I only am returning. Here, what I'm doing? J am returning, and also C type. J am returning, and also C type. Of the method of the M7. C class object C1.I10. D class object D1.J20. Using D1 reference, can I access the C type? Right or wrong? Using D1 reference, while creating the object to D, all the members, all the non-static members will be loaded. C type also will be loaded. Because in D1 reference I can access C type. So that is what I'm doing exactly. D1 dot C type. Now what I'm trying to do. D1 dot C type is equal to C1. That means what? What that means? Just give me 2 minutes, guys. Now, C class contains one attribute. This is one attribute. D class contains two attribute. D class contains two attributes. Here observe, very important. Two objects, C and D. Now C is having what? C is having what? I. Next. This is C. This is D. D is having what? I and C type. Sorry, J and T type. C type. Now, C1 data is equal to 10. Then P1 dot J is equal to 20. Now for the C object, C1 is pointing. For this D object, D1 is pointing. Right? Now C type, D1 dot C type. Observe carefully. D1 dot C type is equal to C1. That means what? That means what? D1 dot C type is equal to C1. Wherever C1 is pointing, for the same, C type also should point. Now C has what? C has only I. D has J and C type. D1 dot C type is pointing to what? This C object. Now D1 is pointing to this D object, C1 is pointing to this C object. Now carefully observe. C1 I'm calling. What is there in the C1? It is going to call the two-string method I is equal to what? 10. No issues at all. I is equal to 10. Then D1 is going to invoke D1. Inside the D class two-string method is there or not? Yes. Return J is equal to 20 plus comma C type. C type is pointing to what? What? C object. Now this is also a reference of C type. Reference of C class. It is going to call the two-string method of the C class. Now what happens? I is equal to 10. J is equal to 20. I is equal to 10. Right? First initially I is equal to 10. Then J is equal to 20, comma, I is equal to 10. Answer? N7. Hmm? Understood this diagram? Understood or not? Here in the string class, in all the wrapper classes, in the thread class, and in the all collection API classes. In the string class, string buffer class, string builder class, string buffer, string builder. Then all the wrapper classes, then thread class, in all the collection API classes. Two-string method of object class got overridden by default to return the object content, not the memory location, not the memory location. We don't have to override that. We get the content, not the memory location. Okay. This is the string class. It is the integer. Is the thread. It is the collection API class, array list. What are the classes? toString method got overridden to return the content. Huh? String class, string buffer class, string builder class, all the 8 wrapper classes, ready class in all the collection API classes. Tostring method of object class got overridden to return the object content, not the memory location. Ready class in all the collection API classes. All the collection API classes. Now we'll come to the equals method. Equals method of the object class. Equals method. In case of object class equals method, it is going to compare two object reference whether two references are pointing to the same object or different object. Case of equals method, object class equals method. It is going to compare whether two references are pointing to the same object or different object. What about double equals? Double equals. If I compare two primitives, I'll get what? Two orphans. Right? If I compare two primitives of same type, I'll get what? Two orphans. If I compare two references, it is going to compare whether two references are pointing to the same object or different object. What does equals method do? It's going to compare whether two references are pointing to the same object or different objects. If both the references are pointing to the same object, we'll get the true. We'll get the true. If two references are not pointing to the same object, we'll get the false. False, false. K1 and K2 both are different references, both are pointing to the different objects. K1 is pointing to one object, K1 is pointing to one object, K2 is pointing to another object. Now, reference I'm creating of type K3, supplying K1. Wherever K1 is pointing, or the same K3 also should point. Now, this object got two references, K3 and K1. K3 and K1 both are pointing to the same object. K3 and K1 both are pointing to the same object. That is why we get that true. False, false, true, true. See here, I don't want to compare the references. Okay, I don't want to compare the two object references. I want to compare two objects content, not the reference. Okay, I don't want to compare two objects references. I want to compare what?
Two objects.
Two object content. So to achieve that, what I'm doing, I'm overriding the equals method. I'm overriding equals method in the G class. Now double equals, what is that? It is going to compare whether two references are pointing to the same object or different object. But here equals method I have overridden. How I have overridden? It is accepting what object type obj, returning what current object I, whether that is equal to argument data. These are primitive values. Content. Content no. This data argument data. Content I'm comparing. That means what? Primitive values I'm comparing. If I compare two primitive values, I'll get true or false. Now, upon G1 object, upon G1 reference, I'm calling equals method, supplying G2. On G1 reference, I'm calling equals method, supplying G2. Now what happens? Equals method of the G class will be invoked, will be executed. Equals method of the G class will be executed. Now G1 is the current object. Current object also called as what? This, right? This current object we can able to call that as this, equals G2 I'm supplying. G2 reference I'm supplying. G2 reference. Now for OBJ, G2 will be applying argument, that is only I'm supplying now. G2. Here G2 will be OBJ. For OBJ I'm supplying G2. This data means what? G1 data, current object. This data means what? Current object is what? G1. This data means what? G1 data. G1 data is what then? Whether double equal to, here typecasting is required. It is object no. Object type. I need to downcast to G type. Right or not? Alright, G class is extending object or not? Right or not? Yes. Now from G class to, sorry, from object class to G class, I'm downcasting. Right? From object class to G class, I'm downcasting. That is required. Then data type. That means what? That means what? G2 data type. That's it. G2 data type. OBJ data type means what? G2 data type. G1 data type, whether equal to G2 data type. Yes. 10 double equal to 10. Yes. True. Now we'll get true here. First I'll get what? False. Then I'll get true. Then wherever G1 is pointing for the same, G3 also should point. Right? Now, what I'm doing here, G1 and G3 both are pointing to the same object. That is forget true. Upon G3 reference, upon G3 reference, I'm calling what? Equals method supplying G1. Now, G3 dot I, G1 dot I, both are same. Here, this is obj1, right or wrong? Obj, this is obj means what? G1. Obj is what? G1. This data means what? G3. G3 data. G3 data, current object. G3 data. Then obj data means what?
10.
G2, G1, yeah, G1 data. G1 data. Both are same. We'll get what? True and true. Here false, here true, true, true. Everything is false. ಏನಾಗತ್ರಿ ರಚನಾ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಬೇಗನಾ what happens? Huh? False, false. Is that right? Is that right? False, false, true. Okay. False, false, true. I'm not overriding the equals method. Now what happens? It's going to compare whether two references are pointing to the same object or different object. That is why here false, false. Here I'm not comparing the reference. I'm comparing the content. Okay. I'm comparing what? A1 dot I. Primitive I'm comparing. A1 dot I is equal to A2 dot I. Not the reference. Not A1 is equal to A2. A1 dot I double equal to A2 dot I. Two primitives. Whether 10 double equal to 10. I'm not overriding equals. What is the
False, false, true, true, true.
False, false. False, false, true, 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 true. Should concentrate. Get a class. This is int. This is double. Two attributes. One is int type. One is double type. Two objects. I'm supplying int type and double type. Now wherever B2 is pointing for the same, B3 also should point. B2 and B3 are pointing to the same object. Now whether B1 double equal to B2, B1 dot equals of B2. I'm not overriding the equals method. No, I'm not overriding equals method. Then it is going to use the object class equals method. Then it is going to compare what? Whether two references are pointing to the same object or different object. So false will get. Now what I'm doing? B1 dot I double equal to B2 dot I. B1 dot I double equal to B2 dot I. B1 dot J double equal to B2 dot J. Both expressions are resulting true. Then double and operator returning true. Now B2 double equal to B3. B2 dot equals B3. This one. Right? Only one attribute, two objects. C1 double equal to C2. Do not. Do not. Double equals always. Double equals always trying to check whether two references are pointing to the same object. Now equals method I'm overriding here. Pakka. It is going to compare the content. That is how I have overridden here. This data double equal to obj data. Now it is going to return true. This is also true. In 14. Two attributes. IMJ. What is the result?
False.
This is false. This is understood.
What is the argument value of these kinds of
What?
argument values?
This one.
Instead of an item for the second object, you are giving other argument values.
Yeah.
Observation zero.
No? Yeah.
Change the arguments here.
Different argument. What happens? What happens?
Everything is false. Everything is false.
Everything will be false. Why? Why? D1 and D2 both are different functions. D1 dot equals of D2. Comparison will be happening. This dot I, OBJ dot I, same, no issues at all. But it is also going to check this expression. This dot J is not equal to OBJ dot J. Completely it is written false. So this is why false. Now here it is false. That is why it is written false. I am trying to do here 3 attributes. Wherever downcasting is required, there and all I can use the REF. Initial itself I'm downcasting. Initial itself I'm downcasting and storing inside REF. Where and all I need this statement. There and all I can use just REF. Simple. I don't need to downcast every time here. Right? Yeah for BJ every time. No. Simply I'm storing inside REF. Wherever downcasting is required, there and all I can simply use REF. Everything will be Paka. Analyze. Analyze. ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಮೇಘನ ಕಾಲ ಯಾ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ರಚನಾ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಇಷ್ಟೊತ್ತಂಕ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಹಾ? Are you final here? Pakka. B. Pakka. You are not primary, right? Primary school. You are not primary school. Are you studying in primary school or engineering college? Right. Then you are studying engineering, man. Right. Here, come to the last program. What is happening in this case?
So they can do some work of getting the true value. Or satisfying the condition.
D1 dot I, D2 dot I, D1 dot I, D2 dot I. See, D1 dot J, D2 dot J, same, different. That is what. Now here, E1 dot I, E1 dot J, E1 dot K, same, pakka sir. E1 dot I, J, K, same, pakka same. E1 dot, this is what? This is I, yeah. This is I. This is what? J. Right? This is what? K. Right? So, I and I, same, J and J, same, E1 dot K, E2 dot K, same, false. E1 dot K, E3 dot K, E1 dot K, E3 dot K, E1 dot K, E3 dot K, same, false. E2 dot K, E3 dot K, E2 dot K, E3 dot K, same, same in red. E2 dot K, E3 dot K, same or different? Different. That is one get false. That is what I'm doing here. If any one expression returns false, then the whole thing becomes false. Whole thing becomes false. Then that value is storing inside flag. That flag value only I'm returning to equals. Artha aita? Should practice. So let us wrap the session today. Okay, because we get the confusion. Practice this one. Okay. Do one thing. Create another three attributes. Another three attributes. Initialize in the constructor. Right? Go on comparing. Another three attributes. Initialize in the constructor. Then while supplying, you need to supply six values for each object. Then for two references, we can compare. For two references, we can compare until all the combinations. Okay, all the combinations.
Sir, I was present on 29th, sir.
Really?
Sir, really, sir.
Who is that?
Vinay, sir.
29%.
Yes, sir.
Okay, no issues. 31. Today you are present,
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ashita? Ashita? Chaitra? Chaitra
Present,
VK?
Present, sir.
Suraj? Madesha? Kiranar? Syed Afsar Pasha? Chanapa?
Present, sir.
School teacher? Kirtana? Nishita Prakash? Mohammed Sufyan? Chandan K?
Yes, sir.
Nandish Babu? Ram Kumar?
Present, sir.
Rakshit Kumar?
Present, sir.
Ram Kumar is present. Chandan is also
Yes, sir. Present.
Yeah. Anil Kumar? Archit Garg? Vaishnavi Hegde? Why these people are not attend? These people won't attend. Preetham Biyar? Gagandeep?
Yes, sir.
Salma Taj?
Present, sir.
Tarun Singh?
Yes, sir.
Abhishek Singh?
Yes, sir.
Gagan Gosavi? Ahmad Omar Kasim?
Yes, sir.
Deepthi SH? Shruti R? Chandana Yam? Yamuna Yam? Harish D?
Present, sir.
Chetan Yam?
Present, sir.
Shalini? Kamala?
Present, sir.
Yashaswini NR? Yashaswini? Samuel Zuma? Shreyas? Darshan S? Fine. Okay, guys. Please practice all these things. It is very important. Otherwise, you'll get the confusion in objective class. Please practice all these things. We'll continue tomorrow.